Hello everyone and welcome to another Q&A, where today we're going to answer your questions that you have asked me over the last 3 days. And yes, it was 3 days. Usually I only have this thread up open for like 1 day or at most 2 days. But I wanted to gather some more questions because the last few times some people have answered or at least asked some questions right after the videos went up, so I gave them more time. And we're going to start out with the questions as well in reverse chronological order, like the least recent questions first. And we're going to start out very quickly with a question by Enemy, who is asking, have I ever been to an Oktoberfest, or as you would say in German, Oktoberfest? No, I haven't. Not because I wouldn't want to, but rather because I just don't have the friends that would like to go there. All of my friends that I have or have had in the past, in like the last few years, that moved away, because when you're a university student, sometimes friends just move away and go like, oh, I'm going to study in Leipzig instead. Stuff just happens. Anyway, all the friends that I've had are just like people who sit at home playing games all day. I have a friend who's played League of Legends for over 10 years almost and hasn't really done anything else. And Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter as well. I played Monster Hunter with him. But these are not the kind of guys who would go out to Oktoberfest in September, right? And the friends that I'm currently most closestly friends with, is that even a sentence? My closest friends currently, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons with them. I'm a level 8 wizard. I just learned Banishment. I'm not gonna go to Oktoberfest with fucking Dungeons and Dragons nerds. Yeah, we're just the kind of people who would go to that place. I personally, I would like to go there. I am actually the kind of guy who you probably know from my streams. Like, if you ever see me stream, yeah, I like drinking some stuff while I'm streaming and getting smashed. Well, not smashed, but getting a little bit tipsy and stuff. So I wouldn't mind to go to an Oktoberfest, but I just don't have the friends that would also like to go there. And I'm not going to go there alone. Who the fuck goes there alone? That would be like going alone to a party. That's sad. Moving on with a question from Sarah-san, who asks, can you talk about the weird ranking system for players based on power level of Megacast that isn't mentioned on the wiki anywhere? I would like to do that very much, but I don't actually know exactly what you mean. I assume you might like want to know about the ranking in mirrors, because if you go into mirrors, like right here in mirrors, it might tell you for some players this is like a player who is stronger than you, and this is a player who is weaker than you, with like the up and down arrows. I think what it just does is it takes all of these stats every unit has, so HP, attack, defense, of every unit on the entire team gets summed up. And let's say, for example, you have a 5-man team and it's 300,000 is the total stats that you have. I think it just divides that by the amount of characters you have. So for example, in that case, it would be a 5-man team, so divided by 5, which would be 60,000, and then say, oh, 60,000 is either better than your team or it's weaker than your team. So my team, for example, is like 71,000 stats, a solo Mokyu with 71,000 stats. That's pretty high, so I would say, oh, that's a team that's weaker than your team. I think it goes like that. Not 100% certain like that. And that's how it goes in ranked mirrors as well. But in ranked mirrors, it has like fixed values, like everything above like 50,000 is ranked as like a really strong team, stuff like that. If you didn't mean this, and you meant something else, just tell me in the comments below of this video, Seda-san, what you actually meant with this ranking system, because I don't actually know exactly what you mean with this. Also, how many makers do you have in Magic Record? Well, I have prepared something for you guys. Let's do the count. Ah, 1. Ah, okay, I'm not gonna do the count because it's gonna take way too long. So 1. By the way, these are all sorted by Magi level. Yes, they're all Magi level 5. Yes, they all have perfect Awakening stats in, and also every single one of these characters that isn't a natural 4-star will have a maximum amount of slots. I'm basically maxed on everything. So yeah, but yes, do the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If I stop counting for some reason, I'm drunk. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm not actually, it's just an excuse. 21, 22, 23, 24, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30, 31, I probably just miscounted, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just gonna go faster over this and just do an estimate. It's like 50 over here, like another 60 there, like another 70 there, like 80, 90. Let's just say like a little bit over 90. Let's just say a little bit over 90. I'm not gonna do the exact count right now because this would take way too long. I just started counting and thought to myself, I'm gonna take 10 minutes counting. It's gonna take way too long. But yeah, maybe like 90 or plus 95 maybe magical girls in there. So yeah. That should give you a count right there, and they're all basically maxed on everything except Spirit Enhancement, because I'm still waiting for Spirit Enhancement to be uncapped to 100. But yeah, that's my Bigo card count. Moving on, we have a question from Mary Reed, who asks, I was wondering about your experience making videos featuring yourself for Cam. LOL. Did you struggle with hearing yourself on recording in the beginning? I'm asking because I'm thinking of starting a video diary and I'm having trouble getting over my poor self-esteem. It's something people get used to, right? Exactly. I've been making videos on YouTube for 10 years, which many of you might not even know because I have a main channel. It used to be the main channel. Now this is the main channel, which is just called Razialim. I can pop it out. No, I can't pop it out because it would show up my credentials. But I have another channel where I did gaming videos. I did Let's Plays. I started doing Let's Plays in the middle of 2008. And uploaded them in 2009. I had a time where I didn't upload them. So I've been doing this YouTube stuff for a really fucking long time. And I can tell you that out of the about 10 years that I've been doing this stuff, for the first 7 years, I just couldn't listen to myself. I didn't watch my own videos just because it was so painful to listen to my own voice. Nowadays, I still don't really watch my own videos at all, but I at least could listen to my own voice without wanting to tear my own throat out. So I could do that. Like, I don't hate my own voice anymore. But it took about 7 years to get to that point. So yeah, like hating your own voice or hating your own self on screen is normal. Even many famous people like Day9. Day9 has been streaming for 15 years. He's been making YouTube content for as long as YouTube existed. So, and even he himself still doesn't like hearing himself talk. Even he doesn't like that. Simple Flips as well. Simple Flips also been on YouTube, like in general, been on the internet making content for like 10 years. Still hates his own voice. That's normal. That's really normal thing. You just have to build up the confidence to put content of yourself out into the world where you say to yourself, this is content that I think is fine, even if I can't listen to myself or if I can't look at myself. You just need to ignore that part. Just say to yourself, what I just made, this content that I just made is fine. I'm just going to put it out there. Don't be a perfectionist and put out nothing, because that's terrible. Just put out stuff. Just do put out stuff. There's like a lot of sayings about like taking a shot, like you miss every shot you don't take, blah, blah. I'm not the kind of guy to give you random sayings and stuff or phrases, but really just go do stuff, see how people react. Try to value the positive feedback more than the negative feedback, I can tell you that. And that's basically about it. Yeah, you just have to tank through it. You really have to just tank through it. And that was my experience as well. Just tank through it until you get at some point where you're so confident in your own content that you can say, I can put forehead cam right here, right there. Where is it? Right here. I can put a forehead cam. And I can just have that be a thing. And I'm just confident that this is not shit to everyone. There are at least some people out there who think that's fucking funny. So yeah, you really need to just build up that confidence. No one starts, maybe not no one, but almost no one, or basically no one starts actually having that confidence. Everyone builds that confidence over time. Might take a while longer for some people, but that's something you have to just get used to. It's something you have to build. That was a really long answer, but it was a very important answer in my opinion, because that's something that's very important to like YouTube itself. Moving on, we have a question from watermelon_01, who asked, looking forward to another year with you and the community. Thank you very much. And I'm also looking forward to another year with all you guys out there in the community, in both the YouTube channel and the Discord and Reddit, everywhere, except like Facebook and Twitter. Like, holy shit, the amount of stuff that I've seen on there that I wasn't comfortable with. Oh my god. Anyway, did you get to eat any good food this New Year's? No, because I was New Year's home alone. As everyone should have been, because during the pandemic everyone should be home alone right now, and like in general to not spread the virus. And if you actually did eat good food this New Year's, then either you cooked it for yourself or you broke the law. And I didn't cook any for myself. I just did eggs and ham. Eggs and ham are nice, I guess. Also, Snar Alt Valentine's or maybe Masakoko. Personally, I would love a Snar Alt. but it's more realistic to get a Masakoko ult. That said, we could just get a Snar ult. It's possible. We could just get a Snar ult. I don't know. But I do think that Masakoko is going to happen very soon. Like, it's the most obvious duo unit that they can still add to the game. It should happen soon. And if it doesn't, that in itself is already a travesty that they still aren't adding Masakoko, because it's like one of the most like strongly hinted at ships in the entire game. But yeah, personally, I would like a Snar ult, but I don't think it's gonna happen, to be honest. Could though. It could though. Next up, question from Sana herself. If all the micro-record servers shut down, what would happen to your channel? Love you and your content, Ashton. Ooh, oh, thank you very much, Sana. I know I wouldn't be able to meet you IRL because I can't see you, but at least, I guess, on the internet, it does work with leaving comments. I guess that's how you were able to become a marine biologist. But yeah, if the micro-record servers shut down, I guess my channel would just die immediately. Like this channel right here would just die immediately. However, as I mentioned earlier, I have another channel. I have a gaming channel, like a general gaming channel, and I probably would do more content for that channel. Like something that I wanted to do at some point is to just do random game reviews, specifically of idle games. I like playing idle games on the side while I do other stuff. So I already did a bunch of idle game reviews on my main channel, like on my gaming channel rather. And I would just keep doing that, I guess. Like I would just keep doing more general gaming videos on my gaming channel instead, but I don't think I would do much more with this channel right here. Like this channel right here is mostly just for micro stuff. However, it's possible, not likely, but possible that at some point in the future I find another mobile game that is so awesome that I think to myself, hey, I'm gonna make content for that mobile game instead. It's possible, but not very likely. Probably wouldn't happen, but it's not in the realm of impossibility. Moving on, we have two questions here from the amazing Alicia Escoto Asensio, thank you very much, who is asking, what do you think about the idea of a magical girl with 5 Excel discs? I know it's a little crazy, but I just love the Excel disc. I love the Excel disc too. I always did. Like, I know a lot of people see me as, like especially during my early videos, where I was all about blasting. A lot of people just thought that I only liked blasting. I just liked blasting because it was the most powerful strategy, and I just kept telling everyone, like, if you want to have fun with the game, but like beating the game, like actually beating the game's content, play Blast. That's what I told people, play Blast, because it's like the most important thing to do. But on the Japanese server, Excel is the most important strategy, but I always liked both Blast and Excel. Like, I always like both of them. It's Charge that I don't like. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, about Excel, I think it's possible that we might get a magic girl that has 4 Excel discs, simply because Ashley exists, or existed, past tense, on the North American server with 4 blast discs. So I think it's possible that they would at some point add someone who has 4 of a kind. But 5? I don't think that would ever happen. Like, I think Mega Record would shut down before that would actually happen. So I don't think the chances of that are above 0. However, I think that would be pretty funny. I think if there was a unit with 5 Exaltis, I would definitely get that unit, even if it was otherwise pretty bad, just to have a laugh. Just to go into a stage and keep drawing Exaltis, and just to laugh at myself going, oh my god, look at all these Exaltis. Isn't that fun? Isn't that amazing? It's just a nice meme in itself to have something that would have 5 Exaltis. So yeah, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. And then next up, it's another question from Alicia Asensio. Amazing. What do you think about the great and lovable Karin? One of my favorite characters in the entire game, and one of the cutest girls out there. I don't want to say the cutest because there's so many good ones out there. But I think she's one of the best characters in Mega Record. Absolutely. But story-wise as well, she actually has a really, really good backstory with some really dark tones to it. Like, Karin has probably a higher kill count, not against witches, but a higher kill count of killed magical girls than most other, if not all other characters, like aside from like actual murderers like Kirika or Susune, for example. But like just among the normal characters, Karin probably has the highest kill count of magical girls, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I love her both for her design, for her gameplay unit, but also for her backstory and everything. Oh, she's amazing. And her ship with Alicari is also absolute top tier. She's amazing. And she's a really hot, burning character. And you love my videos. Thank you very much. Lisa Sancio, that's very nice of you. Next up, we have a question from Typhool. She? Or is that Sue? I think it's she. When and how did you find out about Mega Record? I can tell you right now that this question comes up again later down there. But initially I was part of a small community of like 20 people or something, of like people who just played a bunch of mobile games and knew each other from Team Liquid website. So from the online Team Liquid website, there was like a thread about some anime, and that thread had its own IRC chat, and I was in there. And the people in there played some other mobile games, like for example, Fake Ground Order. If I ever bring up the story where I talk about I played Fake Ground Order for 3 years because my friends played it, those are the people I'm talking about. And at some point, one of those guys just told me, like actually multiple of them, because they were all really into Madoka Magica as well. They all said like, oh yeah, that's amazing. It's like this Mega Record mobile game is gonna be released in a few months or whatever. And I followed the news, and I wanted to start playing Mega Record on the very day it released, but my mobile phone is a Samsung Galaxy S4. This one right here, Samsung Galaxy S4, it's shit. It can't actually play Mega Record. I did actually do a force install at some point, but the thing is, it can't really run Mega Record. So I just thought to myself, oh man, it sucks that I can't play this. I'm not going to be able to play this. But then, like a week later, I thought to myself, why don't I just use an emulator? And I just used an emulator. And then I started playing the game, and I've been playing ever since. So yeah, that's how I found out about Mega Record, and that's how I started Mega Record. I was about a week late after the release, but the release, like the launch bonuses were still going, so I still got all of those launch bonuses. So yeah, I've been playing basically since launch, and yeah, that's how I found out about Mega Record. Yay! Artsy MLM24 asks 2 questions. Will I run out of bald jokes? Yes. I'm just a human, and there's only this many bald jokes that any given human can think of, also known as the baldness number, and that baldness number is finite, meaning that at some point any human being will run out of bald jokes. But if you guys got some good bald jokes, why not just tell me, and I can use them in some of my videos. That would be great. Who do you think will be this year's Mega Record character? I actually think that Papa likes making fun of the game, likes making jokes about the game, and I think what he might do is, you know what, he might say that there's been so many duo units, let's make a trio unit. Oh, let's make a trio unit. Oh, what trio unit could that be? I think it could be either Merry Blood, or Tokimeki Democracy. I think either of those two would make a great unit, just to stick it to all the duo units, so that Papa can come out and say, I got the trio unit, fuck you guys. I would love that. I would love it like a trio unit, and for it to be either Merry Blood or Tokimeki Democracy. I don't think it will actually be this year's Mega Record character, but mostly because I don't think anyone can guess what it is. Because like Rena-chan Idol version was such a big surprise to anyone, like literally no one saw that coming, that I don't think we're gonna see this one coming either. This year's anniversary unit though, you guys want to know that one. Also, once again, the last 2 ones like Iriyachi and Mokyu, absolutely no one saw that coming. And I know some people might have said, oh, like this guy 1 year ago said that, oh, wouldn't it be funny if Mokyu was unit? That doesn't count. Like, that doesn't count. I mean, like, actually, people coming out and being like, I have this really good idea of who this anniversary unit is going to be, like, a week before it happens, and they're going to lay it out, all of their reasons why, and they're going to come to the conclusion, and that's why my conclusion is Mokyu. No one was like that, okay, right? No one actually looked at all of the, like, hints given and said it was Mokyu, right? But because of that, I think that whatever I say is not going to be the anniversary unit. However, I can still maximize my chances of being right by saying Akuma Homura, because 1 year, there's going to be a year, at some point, there will be an Akuma Homura unit. So if I just keep saying, well, it might be Akuma Homura, at some point I'll be correct. I'll be correct at some point. So I'll just say, yeah, it's probably Akuma Homura, and it's going to be correct at some point. Yay. And that's also the one that I would like to see. Now, moving on, we have a question from Trestari, who says, hi, Mr. JP server and the channel. Welcome to both the JP server and the channel. Hope you're having a great time here. So far, the 4-star I've unlocked are Alina, Livia, Hikari, and Hikaru probably, and Harugi Mitama. So far, I'm going with Alina, Livia, and Mitama. It's a good choice. As an added killer team, very good idea. Is there any particular memory or character I should go for to enhance this team? Not specifically Memoria-wise. Like when it comes to Memoria, especially for new accounts, what you want to do is you want to go to here, right here. This is the Magia Record Fandom Wiki. If you just type Magia Record Fandom Wiki, you'll find this. And you go to the Memoria page down here. And whenever you roll the free gacha or the regular gacha, whenever you roll any gacha and you get a 4-star Memoria, what you do is you look through this list and try to just find the Memoria that you have. For example, let's say you roll on an anniversary gacha and you get this one. And you look at this and you look for 2 specific things. First off, is it attack up? Because attack up is extremely important. You want to have attack up. Secondly, if it's not attack up, is there damage up or damage increase? It's the same. Like for example, right here, this one has damage increase. Yeah, that's one. And you just want to have as many passive, which means blue icon on the top left, Memoria that have either attack up or damage up. That's your main goal. You want to have as many attack or damage up Memoria as you can. Everything else is kind of secondary. That's like your main goal to have. Although there is actually a secondary main goal, maybe even a more main goal, which is there's one Memoria that kind of trumps everything else, which is this right here. It's Meteor Rain. This is the strongest Memoria in the entire game, and you might randomly get it at any point. And because it's the strongest Memoria in the entire game, you want to just have as many of these as possible. And what you actually don't want to do is, or what you actually want to do is, you don't want to actually like strengthen these, combine these. Like, you know, you can combine multiple Memoria of the same type. Like, for example, if you had 2 of these, you could combine them to raise the limit break of this Memoria. You don't want to do that with Meteor Rain. You want to have like singular ones of these, at most 4 of them. And once you have 4 Meteor Rains, you've basically won the game. Like once you have 4 Meteor Rains, there's not really anything else that can really touch you, because if you just use 1 Meteor Rain each turn, every turn that you use a Meteor Rain, you're invincible. You're not going to die. It's impossible to die on a turn that you use Meteor Rain. Watch someone take this out of context and make a video about how wrong I am. I know this is wrong, but I'm gonna say it anyway just because it sounds very final. But yeah, just use Meteor Rains. This is perfect. But apart from that, you want to have passive Memoria, like blue icon Memoria, that have either damage increase or attack up on them. And literally any Memoria that has attack up or damage up on it will do. Literally any. I think this one right here has damage increase as well. Yeah, this one would also do. Literally any. Just look for the entire list of whatever you pull and use those instead. So yeah, that would basically be what I would tell you to do. Magical Girl wise, what you could use is like Alina, or in general, this team that I'm looking at right here with Alina, Livia, Mitama sounds like a Magia team to me, especially because Mitama Harugi is all about having Excel Draw as a personal, definitely use a personal Memoria that has Excel Draw on it. Which you get, by the way, by clearing her. I think it's the 2nd Magical Girl story quest for her. Do that, and otherwise, yeah, this looks like an Excel Magia team. So you want to have characters that play well in an Excel Magia team. And what plays really well in this is, on one hand, for example, Kako. Kako is amazing. You might want to use Kako instead of Alina, because Alina, out of all of these 3 characters, Alina might be the worst to play in a Magia team. However, actually looking at this again, you have a 2-slot Alina, right? If you have a 2-slot Alina, probably actually keep the Alina. The Livia is only 1 slot. Maybe throw the Livia out, and instead you could use a Kako for stalling if you want to stall. For more offensiveness, you might want to use a Manaka. Right now, if you pull right now, and you might get lucky to get a Haruka. Haruka might actually play into this quite well too, because Haruka is really good at stalling and tanking, which your team might need. Like with Alina Mitama, you might want to have a tank, and Haruka is really good at that. But also, Hikaru inflicts status ailments with her Connect and with her passive, with her SE active, so that would also help with an Adikiller team to have more sources of status ailments. So yeah, maybe some of those units could be fine, like Kako, Manaka, Haruka. Those would be some good choices to use. So yeah, those would be some good ones for Magical Girls, and maybe throw out Livia for that, because Livia is only 1 slot, and 1-slot characters are really bad. Moving on, we have a question from Alonso, who asked, what is your knowledge of Magic Record story before the rewrite? I don't have that much knowledge about it. However, I have enough knowledge about it to make an entire video about it. I have done some digging. I have talked to a lot of people who have been very early Japanese players who even can read Japanese and looked at the Japanese promotional material. And I even know someone who knows developers from FRS. Like, I literally know someone who like personally knows FRS developers, not even a joke. But I have done some digging around and I have found a bunch of information, and I have enough stuff to make an entire video about that. And I already had that written down. I have an entire list of like videos to make, and that's on there. So I probably will make a video about that at some point. So yeah, look forward to that. And we won't get Susanoo Part 1, just the SE release, do we? Yeah, just the SE release. I don't think we will get Susanoo Part 1 with itself, but the SE release itself will probably happen in the next 2 weeks, maybe, I don't know. A question from CY Chu, who asked, who do you think will be released on the Susanoo event? Almost definitely Kagari. Like, Kagari is basically a safe bet, most likely 4-star. The question then becomes, who else is going to be on there? So it could be, there's basically only two choices it can be. There's only two choices. Either Tsubaki, and the question then becomes, is Tsubaki going to be the 4-star? Or is he going to be the 3-star? Because Tsubaki, like, canonically, is extremely powerful. She's a really powerful magic girl. Her being 3-star would be against canon. But then again, Le Pen was one of the strongest magic girls in existence, and she's a 3-star. She's a 3-star, or Le Pin, as some people might call her. She's a 3-star, and she's one of the most powerful Magoka in existence. And she's a 3-star. So going by that logic, they might just make Tsubaki a 3-star, right? And if some people ask, but there's a reason why Tsubaki can't be in the gacha, because there's other characters that have the same status that are also in the gacha, so I don't think that's a barrier. However, there's another choice for a 3-star magical girl, or a 2-star magical girl even, that they could add. It's Honoka. In case you don't know Honoka, this is Honoka right here. She had about 1 page. She only had 1 page in the gacha, in the manga, maybe in 2 pages. So yeah, but she exists, and because she exists and is alive at this point, she could be in there. She could very much be in there. So yeah, it's possible that she's in there as a 3-star. We don't know. It's possible. Moving on, we have a question, or some observations even, from Project Boy, my man, who asks, or says, if your magic girl you design for a scythe as for a weapon, would it make sense for Gardener's Scythe? It would fit with the force element, plus it would make a little more unique in its design, and you should. Yes, I would definitely, this is actually what I had in mind when I originally came up with this here, that it would indeed be a Gardener's Scythe, and not kind of sort of the scythe that you would see like Ren have, or like the Deaf have. But yeah, this was one thing I was thinking about, and you hit the nail on the head exactly. It would make sense. Yeah, I would definitely do that if I could continue designing the character. And secondly, would your magical girl maybe have parasitic plants in her design? It would make sense with her power. Indeed, exactly. You hit the nail on the head a second time. You're exactly right. Yeah, if I continued designing this character, it would definitely have parasitic plants in her design. So yeah, definitely. If you want to go ahead and write me more ideas, since you are doing such a good job hitting the nail on the head, you can go ahead and do that. Moving on, we have a question from Abrea3. I'm curious, since you are a free-to-play player, what would it take for you to get one of the paid gem lucky bags? For example, if it allowed you to choose any character and auto-force out them and lower prizes, etc. Here's the thing about getting a free-to-play in Mago Record to actually pay money. There's no point. At least for me. Because here's the thing. The characters and memoria that I have can trivially beat every content in the game. Very easily. Like, there's no content in the game that is hard for me. The only content that might make that actually would take some effort is like ranking globally against whales. For example, in Kimochi or in ranked mirrors. But I generally don't care about ranking if it doesn't actually give me anything in return. If it's just prestige, I don't care about that. I have other games where I care about prestige. I was one of the early world record holders in crumble in some of the crumble levels. That's something that I care more about, like speedrunning world record stuff, because I think speedrunning just takes a whole lot of skill, and I like that more than being just like, who put the most money into the game? Ooh. So yeah, I don't care about rankings in mobile games because it's basically just a dig measuring contest in who put the most money in. I don't like that at all. I know there's some strategy, but even so, as a free-to-play player, I'm not gonna play with any of the whales for top 3. It's not happening, right? It's not happening. But yeah, if you're asking what it would actually take me to pay for a lucky bag, basically nothing. If the lucky bag was for 300 paid gems, you get every single currently released character in the entire game at 4 slot, I probably wouldn't buy that. Because like I said, I just have everything I need. I have Mikage, Ultimate Madoka, and Yuriachi at 4 slot, and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that alone already beats everything in the game trivially easily. What do I need to pay money for? What do I need to pay money for? There's no reason. So that would be my answer for that. If the game wants me to pay money, like if you in general you want to know what would it take me to pay money for the game, it would be something that isn't the gacha. For example, costumes that show in battle. I said this so many times before. Let's say, for example, you have characters, all of these characters that have all of their, that have really good costumes, really good like home screen costumes. Imagine if they could show in battle. Like Karin's swimsuit, for example, show is in battle. That would be cool. But it costs money. Let's say it costs, for example, 5 quid to have that happen. People would probably pay that money, and if there was a really good costume for one of the characters that I use that shows in battle, I'd probably actually pay that money for it. That's something that I would pay money for, and a lot of people would too. So that would be something that could actually get me to pay money, but just the gacha itself, nah. Then, hi, hello, ask, favorite Haruki unit, Haruki Mitama. Yeah, that's it. Next up, a question from Angelia Bansilia Sibos. Do you think running a status aimant team during ranked mirrors would yield successful results? Successful as what? I also have girls that would be viable for Magia strats, but they're only at 1 slots. The thing about successful is, do you mean like winning battles? Because if you mean winning battles, yeah, you could definitely do that. You can definitely very easily win battles with a Stars Aimant team if you have the correct setup, if you have the correct magical goals, if you have the correct memoria for it, that would all play together to make a Aimant team work. But if you mean successful results as in ranking really high with points, maybe not. Maybe not, because if you want to rank high with points, you basically have to play the Magia strat. But, with points only really matter for prestige. And if you don't care about prestige and you just want to win battles, because if you win battles during ranked mirrors, you get more ranked mirrors coins, and ranked mirrors coins help you buy stuff in the ranked mirror shop. If you just want to win, status aimant teams are fine. I mean, there are better ones out there, but ranked mirror status aimant teams are fine. You can win a whole bunch of battles with status aimant teams. It's totally okay. But if you really want to rank high, like S+, like if you want to get S1, S2, S3, you basically have to play a Magia strat, and there's no way around that. But if you can't play a Magia strat, just play a strat that makes you win, so you get those juicy ranked mirrors coins for the shop. Moving on, we have a question from Aladdin himself. Oh my god, from a prince? A false prince? Who's asking me, do you like buses? Well, here's the thing. Like, imagine you're playing a Nintendo Entertainment System game, and imagine you are reaching the endpoint of a level. But when you reach the endpoint of a level, the level doesn't end immediately. Actually, what happens is every 5 frames, there's a bus that picks you up and ferries you to the next frame, meaning that you could actually be within the same 5 frames and not lose frames in the speedrun. In that sense, I actually hate buses because I would like it to be frame perfect. So yeah, I don't like buses if they are at the end of NES levels. We have a question from Darakana with Best Girl as avatar or profile picture. People don't say avatar anymore, people say profile picture nowadays. When the ability to pick 4-star got added to JP, who did you pick? I think I just picked a second slot for Madoka, who I never used since. I don't think I've ever used a Madoka anywhere, but I picked up a second slot for her. I even back in the day, I never actually used any of the unlimited characters. I never did that. I had a 4-slot Ren at that point, who I was using. I don't know who else I had, but I just used like a 4-slot Ren, maybe even just a solo 4-slot Ren with any support that I found, and I didn't care about anyone else. Also, do you think there's a chance that Ashley could appear anywhere in Season 2 of the anime? No. Whether it be a tease or reveal? Nope. To deconfirm her by killing her in Chapter 8 with Mecha Girls being hunted or otherwise? Absolutely no. I don't think there's I think there's like the chance that Ashley actually is anywhere in the anime, like 0.01%. Not impossible, but it's not gonna happen. Like, realistically, it isn't gonna happen. LBBL, once again, asks multiple questions. Would you make a contract to become a Megaka? Only if I was sure that the powers that I would get would make it like practically impossible for me to lose in a battle. Like, only if I know that I'm gonna be able to win trivially every single battle that I'm in, only then would I make a contract. I was actually thinking about something along the lines of teleportation, not because I like Shizuku. I was having this idea before I even knew about Shizuku. Like, just in general, the one thing I hate the most in real life is travel. I fucking hate travel. It's the one thing that stops me from doing what I want to do, right? Like visiting people across the world. So I always, like, since I knew about Puella Mágica in 2011, I always thought about, I would love to be able to teleport. And in combat, that would be really nice too. You could either run away from anyone, or you could use it to kill anyone very easily. So I would probably like choose teleportation as a power, and then maybe I could contract. But even then, I don't know. I can't really answer that question like definitively. Oh, look at that! It's LBBL who asks, "What do you think about the Mega Record OST?" It's all right. Like, it's better than a lot of like most other mobile games that I've played, but it's not so good that I would listen to it like outside of Mega Record. It's only decent. I don't think too much about the Mega Record OST, to be honest. Let's say we have a question from Truxton. Thanks for a new daily uploads. I'm trying. Any plans for a new series of videos? Currently, no. But that's only because, as I mentioned earlier, I have like this entire list of like videos that I want to make that I'm probably never gonna get through, because a lot of them take like a whole bunch of work. This is like on this list, let's say like 80% of the videos on that list would take at least like 3 days to make any one of them. So I usually shy away from doing that, and I do like shorter videos instead. But I have a whole bunch of stuff that I would do. However, if there was a series of videos that I had an idea for, that I really felt strongly about, like I said, I had a really good idea for some really cool videos that I would like to do, I would do that. I would do that. Or if someone else brought up a really cool idea for something that I could do, I would do that. But right now, I don't really have any current plans right now. Next up, Tsumogi Shirogane. Okay, sorry. I was suddenly... It was some despair that hit me right there. I think I'm okay right now. Keep up the hope. How to be non-bald? Number 1, don't be male and have bad genes. Moving on, we have a question from UniDragoncorn7 who asks, how did you first get into Mega Record? As I said earlier, I've already answered that question. Although this was the first question. This question was answered because this is reverse chronological order, which means this question was actually asked first, and then the other one was asked. So yeah, I'm sorry for not answering this one first, but I basically answered this earlier with like the friends that taught me about it. Next up, Eriko-chan asks, what faction are you rooting for in Arc 2? Tokime Clan, because they're fun. What do you think will die? Who do you think will die in Arc 2 if it happens? If there are deaths, there are 3 main targets. 3 main targets. 2 of these I feel strongly about. 1 of these not so much. The 2 I feel more strongly about. 1, the number 1 character who has the most death flags on them is Sakuya. Sakuya is Promised Blood member who has betrayed Promised Blood, and Promised Blood knows about that, and Promised Blood, or more specifically Yuna, is known for killing anyone. I know they had another story chapter recently where they sort of went over that, but I still think that the most likely character to die of all of them is Sakuya, which sucks because Sakuya is, I think, also the most well-written character in the entire story, which might be deliberately. Like, it's possible that the writers knew that Sakuya was gonna die, and that's why they made sure to write her really well, so that people would feel sad if she died, which I agree with. I think that's it's okay to think about that. At the same time, Her design, eyes, big bug eyes, kind of gets in the way of that. But yeah, I like Sakuya. I don't want her to die, but I think it's very likely. The second character on that list, the second one, Ryo, because Ryo was potentially maybe dead during the Vampire Kanagi event. It's ambiguous. People say it's not mentioned specifically that she's dead. That's true, it's not mentioned that she's dead in that event. However, it's possible, it's very much possible that she was dead during that event, because that event plays after Arc 2. Vampire Kanagi event plays after Arc 2. So they made sure to like stay clear of spoilers. But it's possible that Ryo was already dead at that point because of some stuff in that event. And the third one, I don't feel strongly about that one, but I was thinking Ryoko. Simply because Ryoko is the girlfriend of Sakuya. And if Sakuya doesn't die for some reason, then it suddenly becomes likely that Ryoko dies, because Ryoko and Sakuya are two best friends, girlfriends even, who said to themselves, well, we're on different sides of this war, but if this war ever ends, we should continue our friendship, we should become best friends, we should become girlfriends, wink wink, once this battle is over. And when two characters say that to each other, you know at least one of them is gonna die. Like, no fictional character has ever said to another character, once this war is over, we're going to retire and become a family. No character who's ever said that has actually lived. So either Ryoko or Sakuya are gonna die. I feel way more strongly about Sakuya because Ryoko isn't really part of main story right now, but it's possible that Ryoko dies too. Yelix and RJ ask, who would you think would fight between who would you think would win in a fight between, oh my gosh, between the Holy Quintet in Team Mikazuki Villa? Holy Quintet, because Homura alone beats. Actually, if it was like a fight between Holy Quintet, Mikazuki Villa, and Homura would win. Not because Homura herself is super duper powerful. Homura herself is just a person. She's just human, or magical girl rather. But the thing is, time stop is actually kind of broken. Time stop is actually kind of really broken. The only way to counter Homura's time stop is to backstab her right before the fight begins. Which means you need to know you need to know exactly how her power works, which means you need to have the closest possible knowledge as the closest possible friend to Homura. So there's only like two people in the entirety of the universe who even know how to counter Homura's magic, which is like Madoka and Homura. Maybe Kyoko as well. This is a hard tell if Kyoko was smart enough. There's only like two or three people in the entire universe who could even counter her magic, and even then, they can only do that if they backstab her before the fight begins without Homura's knowledge. It's the only way to counter time stop. In any other way, Homura just stops time and kills anyone. There's like no way to actually stop that. So yeah, Holy Quintet, because Homura's time stop is actually kind of broken. Absolutely broken. It's a completely different league. Like people compare powers to each other. People often overlook that there's like tiers of powers where there's like no contest. Mami can summon ribbons and can form ribbons into guns. That's fine. Guns are powerful, but you know what's more powerful? Stopping time. How do you fight that? You can't fight that. It's like a completely different tier. Anyway, that's basically my idea about that. If you want to think about Holy Quintet without Homura, it's hard to tell. Probably Mikazuki, actually. Because Sana, if she concentrates on magic, becomes invisible even to magical girls. Like how Sana can actually become invisible even to magical girls if she like uses up, if she like concentrates on magic. She has done that before in the main story, and just by that, she can probably ambush anyone from Holy Quintet because you basically can't counter that. Because Sana doesn't use visual invisibility. Sana uses true invisibility, which is fooling not the light, but fooling senses, all senses. Which blah 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 means that even someone who tries to, like, even if Mami goes like, I'm going to detect sources of magic around me, I'm going to scan the area for magic to see where Sana is, she wouldn't be able to detect Sana because Sana fools the senses. So, Mami's scanning for magic would be fooled into believing there was nothing. That's how like true invisibility actually works compared to visual invisibility, which is what Masara has. Anyway, Snooze asks, or sorry, 5 News asks, favorite drink? I like cocktails that are very fruity but have a high alcohol percentage. So something like a high alcohol long drink like a Long Island. I like Long Island. It's fun. I like a high percentage one. There are some other ones that I think are funny. Like I think a White Russian. I like the milk taste. It's also pretty good. But yeah, those are some of my favorite drinks like that. Baguette of Revenge asks, what's your favorite Magical Girl story and why? This is a tough one. I had a look through all of the Magical Girl stories before this, like not the actual stories themselves, but just like the list of Magical Girl stories. I can't really say exactly which one is the one favorite one, but I'm gonna say 3 of the ones. I'm gonna say my top 3. I can't rank them between them, but the top 3 is Shizuku is one of them, for showing that Magical Girls can have trouble. Can have very important, like life-threatening troubles that aren't just about fighting, like emotional troubles, which is why Shizuku would actually fit really well into Puramagi Madoka Magica, like the anime. So Shizuku definitely in there. Secondly, Alina, for the same reason, is that all of her troubles are very much all based on her ideals and her emotional state and how the world reacts to her, how she reacts to her world. All of that makes her a really compelling character and a really compelling Magical story as well. And Karin would be my number 3, because she's also a very interesting character who shows that who specifically also shows something that Puramagi Madoka Magica was showing, that naivete and just blind believing in justice just leads to people dying. And it did a really good job at showing that in Karin's Magical story as well. So that is also why that character would fit really well into the original anime as well. And that's why those are my favorite Magical stories. Yay! Next a question from Griffin Heika, who asks, which spin-off character from any of the manga are you most excited for? Which kind of just my character? This is not a really in-depth question. I'm not going to be able to answer nearly as in-depth as I would like to hear. Would you think they would have Maya Sasa from Orika Maika? I'm most excited for Tamura. Homura Tamura, because Tamura is fucking amazing. She like punched, she's like one-shot punched, like One Punch Man Walpurgisnacht, and this is so much cool stuff. Like, just read Homura Tamura. Homura Tamura is the best spin-off manga of all of Madoka Magica. It's absurdly funny. I would love to have like a Tamura, like her Magia or like even second Magia would just summon Akemiya with like 100 Homuras coming out and doing all kinds of stuff. I would love that. I would love to just have like 100 Homuras coming out. I can't really answer what kind of distant Magia connect they would have, because it would take like an entire video in itself. But it would just be very varied, but focused on Excel probably. Rika's double would look like once released. I also have absolutely no idea, because I've never really thought about what they would look like, because I don't really care too much about the visual design as I care about the design, like story-wise. Ria's double would be all about fooling people and tricking people. Like that would be something that I think about Ria's double, because Ria is all about tricking people and fooling people, because of course her entire existence is kind of a lie. It would be a liar kind of double. Rika's double, Ria's double could be a snake actually, by the way. Rika maybe, I have no idea about Rika's double. It would be like, I almost want to say a succubus, but we already have that covered with Emily. But it would go in that direction, because Rika does see herself as someone like that, who seduced someone against their will. So maybe that would be something that would play into Rika's double as well, but I can't really go into deeper than that, because I just don't know. Do you think Sana's eventual owl will be a dual unit? Who with? If so, with I would love a Sana I dual unit. I think that would be the best one. Other than that, I don't think that's a good partner, because Iruha already has a partner, so does Manaka. So there's no one left. There's just no one left for Sana except for I. I know people say, but I is dead. I isn't dead. I keeps living on in Nemu's book, and if Nemu is ever allowed at some point to become a magical girl again, then she would be able to summon I again, and that could be a thing. But I do think that if Sana gets an order, it would be solo. I have no idea what kind of solo order would be. I have no idea. I have never even thought about that, so I can't even give an answer. What theme do you think you should have said? So yeah, it would actually be like a fusion between Rumor and herself. Like Rumor Tsuruno would be like Rumor Sana. I think that would be a cool thing. This said Mario connected for 2 minutes. I have no idea. I can't answer that. I'm sorry. Rob asked, what's your favorite group in Arc 2? Tokime Clan also asked this earlier, or rather this question came first. So yeah, Tokime Clan, I like them. I like them more than Kamiyamagi Union, because Kamiyamagi Union is just Team Mikazuki and their shit. I hate them. Dinna Unaroma, how to grow hair? Dinda! Next up, a question from Alonso, who asks, is there any chance that once the story is complete, FRS keeps the game running if they receive financial benefit? Dollar bills, yo! They keep doing events and limited banners. Or they'll make an Arc 3 on bad storytelling. When's your birthday? I can answer one of those questions immediately. When's your birthday? I'm not gonna tell. I haven't told anyone online, literally no one online knows my birthday. Not because I want it to be a secret, just because I feel like it would be too easy to tell people. If you guys want to find out my birthday any other way, like if you want to become a detective and find it out, sure, go ahead. I don't care if you actually end up finding it out or not, but I just don't want to tell people like directly. Do some work if you want to find out, otherwise I don't care. Next up though, this keeping the game running. Here's the thing, they're gonna just keep the game running, they're gonna keep the story running as long as the game makes money. While the game makes money, the story is going to continue, even if they have to go into Arc 3, Arc 4, and so on. And that in itself is not bad storytelling. It's not bad storytelling to keep continuing a story, because if you're a good writer, you can always come up with reasonable reasons why a story should continue. You can always do that. A good writer can always find good reasons why a story can continue or not. So that in itself is not bad storytelling. But yeah, if the game ever stops making money, they will just immediately stop the story. Like they could stop the story tomorrow if they wanted to, if the game didn't make any more money. They could just do that. They could just cancel the story. They can just do that. Or they can just go on for 10 more years with main story releases. If the game keeps making money, they can just do that. They can, like, they're not gonna stop the story and then continue, or the other way around. The story and the game is one and the same. They're gonna continue both at the same time. But yeah, that's that. It's a question from Iris the Thorn. How viable a strategy using the 5 leader characters in your team would be? Maruka, Tad, Oriko, Susune, Kazumi. Now they have these characters, a bit of curiosity. It would actually be kind of fine. The thing is, that would be very much a Magia strat. 3.5 of those characters are Magia characters. Kazumi is only half Magia character, but 3.5 of those characters are Magia characters, and Kazumi can play a Magia role as well. The only odd one out is Tard, who is a full-on blaster, but Kazumi Magia gives everyone a giant blast up, so you could actually play a Magia team surrounding that, with Madoka and Oriko as MP batteries, Susune giving some damage as well as more Exceldis, Kazumi giving some blast up buffs for Tard to work out. So this team could actually work out. It wouldn't really be competitive in any sense of the way, but it would work, as in like this would be a team that has like one strategy that works decently well. And if you go instead of Tard with Final Tard, I mean, still the same character, like if you go with Final Tard, you would have both MP on Blast, and you would have the Blast Draw Personal, which would make the team even better. So yeah, this would work out actually kind of alright. It would work out alright, I would say. Nothing super amazing, but it would work. It would work. Except from a small potato, very small one, who asks, do you think Amagia doing damage to teammates is interesting? That's a very big potato, because that's actually a very big brain question. I would love that. I would love to have a Magia that does interesting stuff. I was actually, initially when Liz was released, I thought to myself, would it be amazing if Liz's double killed herself? Because it's just lore, because of lore. But yeah, I thought that would be amazing. I thought that would be amazing if there was like a Magia or a double that actually did something special. I hated that all of the Magia and doubles in the game, at least most of them, are just so goddamn straightforward. Here's some buffs and some debuffs, and that's it. Buffs, debuffs, that's it. It's the same fucking shit for every single character. I hate that. So I would love that. I would definitely love that. But I don't think it's going to happen, because the developers are very, very much scared of doing anything special. They're very scared. Let's just a question from Ace45 Skyblade, who asked, what do I do with a Yuna who spooked me 3 times? Literally. On a Westry banner, Empire Kanagirva. I know, from New Year's, banner. Maybe the game is trying to tell me something. Who are easy to get Yunas to form a good team for my now 3-star Yuna? Side note, she's probably showing off her money since you're free to play. Gotta get those dollar bills, y'all. Yeah, Yuna is a Magia character. She's really good, actually. She's actually pretty good for a free-to-play team to have, because if you're playing a free-to-play strategy, you're probably playing a Magia strategy. And since she's a Magia character, she fits really well into that. I would say if you have a Madoka, even a one-slot Madoka, probably pick up Madoka's personal and play her with that. It's hard to say though. Definitely use Kako on there. Kako with personal is really good. Give a use of 4-slot Kako. Oriko is also really good, and Manaka. It's like, I know these are the same 3 characters that I always mention for Magia strategies, but it's just because they're so good at doing Magia strategies. Also, right now, if you happened to draw right now, you got a Haruka. Haruka is also really good in that team. So Yuna together with Kako, Manaka, Oriko, and Haruka, that would be a really good team, an amazing team. Would be doing really well. Could clear 100 evils very easily. That would be 100 evils. That would be a team that can clear 100 evils 3 with all 3-star missions. That team could do that. You can use Magia chips and bottles to get them, all of them, to 4-slot. That would work. Nice. Enemy says, thank you for videos. If you guys design a witch for CS, what would you design? I would design the Witch of Paradise, whose nature would be, I don't know the nature, but what you would do is this witch would not be a singular being, but rather this witch would be a location that is the witch. And what this location would be, like, it still has a witch barrier and whatever, but if you're in the barrier, you're basically part of the witch, and it draws people in by showing them basically what they want from life, basically, and sort of it makes sweet promises to people to enter the barrier, and once they have entered the labyrinth, they would be trapped within the witch, and they would actually have a happy life within the labyrinth. But as they were having their happy life within the witch's labyrinth, thinking in their head about all the great things that they would like to do, and imagining all the great stuff that they're doing and being happy about that, they would slowly physically waste away, and their body would slowly dissolve and ultimately fuel the witch. That would be the Witch of Paradise that I would create. Next, we have Ultima Phoenix, who asks, what's your favorite transformation? I don't watch any transformations. Favorite transformation? Actually, probably Mitama. I actually really like Mitama's, like regular Mitama's transformation. Like the first 10 seconds of that transformation, so good, so good. Love that. The music as well, like the music in that transformation, amazing. It actually could have been almost Cool Homoda's transformation, because I really like the way that Moemoda dissolves into Cool Homoda. But the thing is, the music in that transformation is fucking terrible. The music in Cool Homoda transformation is terrible. Oh my god, who the fuck came up with that music? I think it's the same music as Moemoda's transformation. But they should have just used a different music. Just use something different. They didn't though, and it sucks. So yeah, probably directly Mitama. Next up, Robert Yebert. We like your art, Yebert. You're doing a great job. Asks, where's Jun now? Is she dead along with her no Pulamagi friend? If you could remake double, which one would you choose? So she's not dead, and her no Pulamagi friend is also not dead. So Mitsune isn't dead. Probably is a Pulamagi by now, and she's not dead. This has also been asked below by LBBL. But yeah, she has made appearances since then, and there was no point where she ever died or was shown to be even close to dying. So yeah, she was fine. She was always been fine. She's still alive and around right now, but we haven't really like seen what sort of, like, we haven't seen her in main story or even mentioned the main story, but she's still around. She still exists, and she's still around. Probably gonna join Kamiyamagi Union at some point. Mitsune, we don't know much about Mitsune as well. We just know that she's still alive and around at somehow, but she's probably a magical girl. We just don't really know too much information. But yeah, she's probably still around, probably still a magical girl. We don't really know much more. And the final question from Fernando Kwashiwa Carbajal Mejal. I have no idea if I pronounced it even remotely what it should be. But moving on, the question is, Hagamu's friends Mocha and Maria were used to be part of Wings of Magus, question mark. I'm confused because I always thought that from the tweet, just Hagamu was part of Wings of Magus, but in the wiki it says Mocha and Maria were also part of Black Feathers. That's a very good question. I don't know. I haven't read their stories because these characters were so uninteresting and boring to me that I didn't even read their backstories. I'm sorry about that, but in case you guys thought that I knew every single bit of story in the game, I don't. There are a whole bunch of characters whose backstory I never even read, including Mocha and Maria. As far as I know, they were indeed part of Wings of Magus. They were part of Wings of Magus, as far as I know, but I don't know. I assume just that they were all, like Hagumu, Mocha, and Maria, they all were friends in the Wings of Magius, which is why they're still friends now after the Wings of Magius have collapsed, and why they're friends in the Hanamatsuri event. But I don't know more about that, so I'm sorry, guys. That's all I know about them. But yeah, that was guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Thank you so much for answering all these questions. Thank you so much for still being part of this amazing community. Thank you so much for still being around, for everything that you're doing. And yeah, I hope you guys are gonna keep sticking around, because there's still gonna be a bunch of stuff happening in this channel. We have, I keep mentioning it, but there's so many videos that I need to keep doing, and the next one, I've already recorded it. I still need to edit it. Main story, Arc 2, Chapter 3, catching up on JP. It's gonna happen. And stands for Magius. Magius stands, that's gonna happen very soon. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out, and see you guys next time.